Good morning. Welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist Church of Richmond. My name is Suzanne Short, and I am honored to be serving this community on its board of directors. Welcome to those here and those joining us virtually from near and afar. We are grateful to be able to connect with you. If you are a visitor here today, we are so glad that you found us. We welcome you and thank you for spending time with us. We are a community committed to being deliberately diverse, fully inclusive, and want you to know that whoever you are welcome here. Our church was begun in 1833 as a liberal Christian community. We are now a community of many faith journeys and beliefs, guided not by a creed, but by a covenant to uphold shared principles marked by love, respect, and justice. Our faith community continues to work together to put our UU principles and values into action and build beloved community and serve the purpose of justice for all here in the Richmond community and afar. We welcome you to live these principles with us as you continue your spiritual journey and stand together with us on the side of love. If you're a visitor here today or new to Unitarian Universalism and would like to learn more about our community and our faith, we invite you to check out our website, join our Facebook group, and reach out by email at membership@richmonduu.org. To stay informed of the important news and the many activities occurring within our church community, I encourage church members and visitors to arrive and tune in early to our Sunday morning services 5 to 10 minutes early to catch the rolling announcements. And remember to check out the various editions of First News Weekly. I would like to take a moment to express my gratitude to this community for its love and support upon the passing of my father. I am a second-generation UU because my father gave me that choice, and I am so grateful to have this community as my UU home. Again, welcome to this joyous Sunday, made sacred by all of us being together, worshiping and sharing our time with each other. And now we have an announcement from our Ministerial Search Committee from Sharon Amos.
Good morning. I'm Sharon Amos, and I'm honored to serve as a member of your Ministerial Search Committee. And I'm excited to share this morning that our congregational survey is now open. This survey is a really key part of the search process that's been outlined by the UUA. And it's an opportunity for each of you to tell us about your experiences and perceptions of First UU, as well as your aspirations for our congregation's future. It should take you about 20 or so minutes to complete, so it is a bit of an investment of your time, but we really appreciate having a really broad set of perspectives. So please, we're excited of the response so far. Please let us hear your voice as well. The link to the survey is available on some flyers on the survey table that is down the hall by the library. So if you haven't received that by email, stop by the table. The survey will be open between now and Sunday, September 18th. If you have any questions, stop by the table or email the search committee at msc@richmonduu.org. Thank you so much. And now if you'd take a moment to greet your neighbor.
Good, the camera's out there. Down. Please remain standing or rise in body and spirit for our opening hymn, All Creatures of the Earth and Sky.
Oh. creatures of the earth and sky. Long bridges lift your voices high. Alleluia, alleluia. White hawk upon the windy gale. Sing praises as you sail. Alleluia, 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 alleluia. Oh, peace within this free sky, sweet honey from the buzzing hive. Alleluia, alleluia. God send you joyous lovely kiss, and catch me measure of tongue bliss. Alleluia, 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 alleluia. A mother there waits from her sleep, as sharks swim through the ocean's deep. Alleluia, alleluia. The humpback one will hear your tune, as birds might wing beneath the moon. Alleluia, 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 alleluia,
Good morning. It's good to see so many bright faces this morning. My name is Lauren Levewood. I'm your assistant minister, and I have to out that my husband is sitting in the audience. Thank you, William, for adapting those lyrics that we just sang. Those were William's, that's William's version of All Creatures of the Earth and Sky. I think it's very cute. So I am delighted to be presenting to you, along with so many others, this multi-generational, made for all ages Blessing of the Animals service this morning. And joining us today will also be Leanne Luskin, the youth coordinator, and several of our First UU families. Our Family Learning and Multi-Generational Enrichment Program, otherwise known by most of us as FLAME, is about to kick off this September with religious education classes for all ages. And I just want to put a quick plug in for them before we get our service going, that if you're a young person, we hope that you will want to come and join our First UU FLAME community. So please come. And if you're an adult or an older person, we hope that you will consider volunteering your time and talent with our young ones this year. We really need more volunteers, and this is just a wonderful opportunity to share and grow together. The kids and young people of this church are such amazing people, and participating in their formation will not only help them, but it's sure to enrich your lives as well. FLAME still needs regular volunteers, particularly for our youngest and our oldest, so pre-K through fourth grade, and we really need some more solid youth coordinators for our teens. Please reach out to Leanne if you're interested in ministering in this way. And speaking of enriching our lives, I promise this is the last announcement, but this is a treat for you, so I want you to know about it. Caring Canines is going to be here with 3 therapy dogs for us to visit with after the service. So don't run away. If you'd like to get some cuddly, furry, loving care after we celebrate our animal fellow creatures, then head down to the President's Hall and they will be waiting for us there. Okay? Woohoo! So, why are we having this Blessing of the Animals service today? Well, other than the fact that it just feels good to celebrate our furry, finned, or feathered creatures, one way to explain why we're doing this is through our Unitarian Universalist principles. Unitarian Universalism is a religion that's rooted in covenant rather than creed. And our church is guided by 8 principles that inspire us to live more just and compassionate and loving lives. The 7th Unitarian Universalist principle teaches us to care for our planet Earth, the home we share with all living things. Sometimes we call this respecting the interdependent web of life. So that's what we're doing today in our service and hopefully in our lives. Today we're going to lean into our 7th principle to celebrate the natural world that surrounds us, and in particular to celebrate the kingdom of animal creatures whose world we share. Our lives are enriched by the pets who we share our homes with, and also by the incredible wild creatures that are literally around us all the time. From the tiniest, creepy little crawly things to the huge humpback whale, we're blessed by animals all around us. So, welcome to the Blessing of the Animals service. Let's open our hearts and minds to kinship and to the beauty all around us. Let's give and receive love just for an hour for all creatures. May this service be for a blessing for our animal kin and for us.
Hi, I'm Lynn English, my wife Kat Winter, and Iris and Teddy, and our family also includes Juniper, who is off camping this weekend. But our family also includes Buddy and Fern and Hazel and Juno and Stormy, and Newberry, our chicken, can't forget her. So they are definitely all part of our family. We are going to read All Animals Are Our Relatives by Florence Kaplow. We light this chalice in honor of the animal realm, furred and hoofed, two-legged, four-legged, many-legged.
Fanged and clawed, gentle and fierce, wild and tame, may we remember that all animals are our relatives, worthy of our care and respect.
Good morning. My name just like some of you, decided to build something. Something new, something special, something amazing. Taylor was feeling very proud. But then, out of nowhere, it all came crashing down. The first to notice that it had all come crashing down was the chicken. Cluck, cluck. I'm so sorry that happened. Let's talk about it. Cluck, cluck. Cluck, cluck. But Taylor didn't feel like talking, so the chicken went away. The next to notice was the bear. Grrr, roar. How horrible. I bet you feel so angry. Let's shout about it. Grrr, grrr. Just a little shout. Little shout. But Taylor didn't feel like shouting about it. So the bear left. The elephant knew exactly what to do. I can fix this. We just need to remember exactly where everything went. But Taylor didn't like remembering. And so the elephant left. And one by one they came. The hyena, let's laugh about it. The ostrich, this is terrible. Let's just hide and pretend it never happened. The kangaroo, this is a terrible mess. Let's just throw it all away. The snake, shh, I know. Let's go ruin someone else's. But Taylor didn't feel like doing any of that with them, so they all left. And in the quiet, Taylor didn't even notice the rabbit getting closer and closer until Taylor could feel her warm body. And they just sat together in silence. Until after a while, Taylor said, "Please stay with me." And the rabbit listened. The rabbit listened while Taylor talked. And the rabbit listened while Taylor shouted. And the rabbit listened while Taylor remembered and laughed. The rabbit listened as Taylor planned to hide and then throw it all away, and even considered ruining something of someone else's. The rabbit listened. And when the time was right, the rabbit listened when Taylor decided to build again. And Taylor said, "I'm so excited. I can't wait. This will be amazing." Thank you. That was some very excellent listening, and I feel like the rabbit is very proud of your listening. So thank you. And you are welcome to head back to your seats with your grown-ups for a very fun song. Thank you.
You, and I wonder if anybody has seen the movie Zootopia. Yeah? So there's some sing-along spots, there's lots of oh-oh-ohs, and then it gets a little trickier in the middle. I say oh-oh-oh, and you say try everything. You want to try, can we practice just that part? Oh, try everything. That's it. All right, so when that part happens, please do join in. And coincidentally, the bunny is the main character, so we've got a theme going here. And James on the drums, thank you.
Now we have come, is this on? Yeah, it's on, okay. Now we have come to another little interactive moment of our service. We are going to do a responsive blessing together. So just kind of like our song, I'm going to say some longer words, and then I'll invite you to repeat the same phrase, and that phrase is, we give thanks for animal companionship in our lives and on this earth. And it's on the screens to the side. Let's try that together. We give thanks for animal companionship in our lives and on this earth. Wonderful. Ours is a world alive and allowed with the presence of creatures and critters. Animals abound, interwoven in our human lives and wholly independent. This is the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. We give thanks for animal companionship in our lives and on this earth. Some of us have known animals who have saved our very lives. Sometimes this is a metaphor, sometimes it is a literal fact. For so many of us, we are better human animals because we have known animals as a part of our story. We give thanks for animal companionship in our lives and on this earth. Animals are not only cuddly and cute companions of solace and delight. Animals are deeply wild, with the capacity to defend and to kill, even the ones we have pronounced tamed. Let us always show forms of proper respect for this wild way. We give thanks for animal companionship in our lives and on this earth. There is the painful reality that some animals suffer needlessly at our hands. There are animals who encounter human cruelty, left hungry or maltreated, used for mean-spirited profit, habitat stolen and built upon without regard for our shared mutual existence. Let us do what we can to be able to give thanks for animals without hypocrisy or heartless dominance. We give thanks for animal companionship in our lives and on this earth. There are animals in our daily lives whose labor makes our lives easier, safer, more accessible. Animals who lend us their fur or hair or feathers or fleece or milk or eggs that we might be sustained without the loss of their lives. And animals who we raise or hunt, may it always be compassionately and with respect for the wider web, though we know this is mostly not the case, whose lives are sacrificed that some of us eat or cover our bodies. May we move ever closer to that ideal to live lightly on the earth, taking only what we must and no more. We give thanks for animal companionship in our lives and on this earth. We bless all animals. We bless those we know and love. We bless those unknown to us who have benefited our lives. We bless even the ones that can harm us, affirming with humility their place in the interdependent web. We affirm the impulse for humans to live in a right relation with all other animals on this earth. May we honor our best presence as part of the animal family. We give thanks for animal companionship in our lives and on this earth. Thank you. And now will you join me, take a breath and close your eyes if that feels good. Join me and join together now for a moment of silent meditation and reflection to contemplate all the ways our lives are entwined with our animal siblings. And now join me in the spirit of prayer. Spirit of life and love, spirit of flora and fauna, life force of all that is, make your presence more known to us this day. Connect us with our beating hearts, spark our curiosity and ignite our imaginations that we might reach out beyond the borders of the dull, gray, polluted, and abused ways of the Anthropocene. Inspire us to live in beauty, to turn towards connection, to breathe the fire of love, and spread that fire of love in all that we do. Amen, and blessed be.
Lay down your tears, lay down your sorrow, lay down your fears, trust in tomorrow. Lay down your tears, lay down your sorrow, lay down your fears, trust in tomorrow. Everything changes, my friend. Everything changes like the wind. Everything changes, the winds are blowing. You are growing again. Everything changes, my friend. Everything changes like the wind. Everything changes, the winds are blowing. You are growing again. Lay down your tears, lay down your sorrow, lay down your fears, trust in tomorrow.
Our Share the Plate donations for the month of August will go to our partner church in Kukës, Romania. As a neighboring country to the Ukraine, they're intensely involved with the Ukrainian refugee crisis. Not only do they house families permanently, they also send fundraised supplies into the Ukraine itself. The Unitarian Universalist Association in 1993 developed a system of sister churches, not only in Romania, a birthplace of Unitarianism, but also in other regions around the world. We are paired with the Unitarian Church of Kukush in Transylvania and have had several visits there from our ministers and church members and hosted their minister and his wife. In the future, I envision that we actively work on strengthening our bonds. Ideas discussed with Kukush include the exchange of youth ambassadors who would learn and teach about the sister churches. A place to begin that learning today might be to visit the bookstore and several shelves in the lobby with material about Romania. Being a small congregation of around 100 members in a very small, low-income village, our sister church in Kukush will gladly accept our offering. In the words of their minister, Alpar Barta, "We accept your raising with love, and we use it for helping the Ukrainian refugees. Thank you."
So our offering baskets will now come around for those of you in person who have something that you want to put in there. And if you are at home or if you want to give another way here, the directions are on your screen for giving online and via text.
Good morning. I'm Dorothy Jurina. This is my husband, Charles. Our daughter, Luciana, is at home with our fur babies, our dog, Patrick, and our cat, Neo.
Yes, it's funny, I married into a family with lots of critters, and I didn't actually grow up with them, so it's been cool to learn how to open my heart to our fur babies. We've had various cats called our house home, and we blessed them all and think about them even today. We went to do a reading from Mary Oliver. This is one of the cool coincidences about church, is that Lauren likes her too, and who knew, right? And I would encourage you, if you haven't read her poetry, to do so, because it's very accessible. There's not a lot of flowery language in it, but it's very powerful. So I was just going to actually not read the entire poem. There's a poem she did called Her Grave, and there's two sections that the poem itself talks about the relationship between man and animals. But I wanted to just pick out two pieces that I thought were particularly relevant for today, for the blessing. A dog comes to you and lives with you in your own house, but you do not therefore own her, as you do not own the rain, or the trees, or the laws which pertain to them. A dog can never tell you what she smells of the world, but you know, watching her, that you know almost nothing. Thanks.
Thank you. This is one of the things I love about community, that we get to come together. And when we share with one another, we create more than we could on our own. So I am going to tell you a couple stories. And one of them is about my cat, who not only listened, but who also spoke up. But before I do that, let me just give you some examples of the way other animals have been observed to behave. Mama squirrels, who care selflessly for their babies, carrying them wrapped around their necks until they're so tired they fall over and get back up again to carry them to safety. And did you know that squirrels can call their relatives by name? This has been studied and noted over and over again. Social insects who believe in a steadfast and productive division of labor. Penguins, swans, vultures, geese, and way too many birds for me to list here, who fall in love with one other bird and devote their lives one to another in a mated pair. Tobogganing crows, who use plastic lids, actually, to go on snowy rooftops and sled down for fun. Yes, this has been observed. Bears who save birds from drowning in the river. Birds who could have been their prey, and then go back to eating their vegetables. Your dog, after polishing off a bowl of dumplings, who looks up at you with the innocent eyes of a shrewd yet endearing rascal that she is. These examples and more can be found in this book, The Inner Life of Animals by Peter Wolben. And I really highly recommend you checking it out. I think it's accessible for all ages. So I learned a lot from Peter as I was researching for today's service. Peter illuminates our human understanding of the creatures that live in the parks, woodlands, and farms all around us, and even those creatures who we call pets that share our very homes. His personal observations and translations of current research led me, already an animal lover, to an even greater level of awe, amazement, and appreciation for our natural world. So, all of us in the room together, and all of us in our virtual room together today, have stories we could share about the animal encounters that we've had. And I encourage you to go ahead and share those stories with one another after our service today. I'm going to tell you a story from my own life, but before I do, I want to go back earlier to this morning when Miss Leanne told us the story about the rabbit who listened. Listening feels good whether we choose to listen to friends or creatures in our lives, or others pause and listen to us. Has anyone here ever had a moment when you needed someone to listen to you? I know I have. Sometimes I need to share my feelings with another person, and sometimes when I'm sitting alone with my feelings, my cat in the past has been known to come and curl up on my lap just like she knows what's going on, to give me a big warm hug. So now let me ask you this. Let me ask you another question. Have you ever had the experience of an animal, maybe a pet or a horse at the fair or another animal in nature, another creature who spoke up and clearly wanted you to listen to them? Anybody? I have. So let me tell you the story. When I was very, very, very pregnant with my child, Haya, And very, very close to the time when I was going to give birth, my cat, Muskie, began talking to me. Now, she didn't speak in human words, and at first, she just followed me around a lot. And I don't mean like around the house, I mean she followed me wherever I would go, a lot. Now, it's a regular occurrence for dogs to like to take walks with people, but it's more surprising when a cat wants to take a walk with you, especially when they're not on a leash, mind you, and they're following you through the city, miles from home, trying to cross major intersections with you just to stay by your side. That's what Muskie was doing. Now, I lived in Berkeley at the time, on the border of Berkeley and Oakland, California. It was a very walkable city. I would leave my home, I would go down to Telegraph and College Avenue to get a coffee, to go to the bookstore. And prior to being pregnant, Muskie could not care less what I was doing. But as I got more and more pregnant, as my belly grew larger and larger, she became more and more determined not to leave my side. She was listening to me, and she was kind of beginning to talk to me a little bit. She wasn't listening to my words, but she was listening to my body. She was perceiving what was going on for me. She was listening with a kind of intelligence and a different kind of knowing than human beings typically have, or maybe it's one we do have but don't always engage in. For example, even my husband, William, who I'm outing again, did not follow me around whenever I would go on walks to get coffee. But Muskie did. Hi, honey. I eventually had to lock Muskie in the house when I would leave so that she didn't follow me through traffic and get hurt. And that's not all. The day came when my labor began, which meant Haya was going to be born soon. But on the outside, not much was happening yet. You never would have known. I almost didn't even know. So on the inside, my body was preparing. Inside of my uterus, which is the organ that grows and holds amazing human babies that are about to be born, there was a water sac that was holding Haya, and it got a tiny tear. And a tiny, tiny little bit of water leaked out, just like a tiny little bit of air came out of a balloon, similar to like when a chick makes that first tap from the inside of the egg, and it begins to crack, and you know the chick is about to be born. So that was the level of what was happening. But I wasn't moaning or groaning or in pain, or I couldn't feel anything that was happening really, and nobody could see that on the outside. Nothing noticeable was happening. I felt fine enough that I decided to go for a walk. I thought that going for a walk would be a good thing to kind of get my body moving and to get labor started. And I felt fine with this. William felt fine with this. The doctors and my midwife felt fine with this. But Muskie, however, did not think this was fine. She did not think this was fine at all. This time when I went on my walk, instead of just walking with me or following me like she'd taken to doing, Muskie began talking to me, or more like yelling at me. She was kind of begging and complaining for me to come inside is kind of what I thought. It was in cat language, however, so it was more like, meow, meow, over and over again. More like a yowl. Now, exactly. So, did you know that cats don't typically talk to one another in meows as they become adults? I never knew this. Side note, kittens often talk to their mothers to get food or something like that, but when they become adults, they don't talk to each other, but they do talk to us because they know that we talk to one another. So they observe us talking, and then they attempt to communicate to us in the ways that they see us communicating with one another. They're so smart because they've been listening to us, and they talk back. No cat owner in the world, for example, has ever experienced a cat that has not tried to tell you when its food bowl is empty and it wants it to be full again. And a lot of animal species are like this, because like us, many animals have the ability to form relationships. That was a true relationship between Muskie and me. Peter Wolben tells us that what many of us already know, that animals can show signs of empathy, which means that they can read and respond to one another and other creatures' emotions and things that are going on. And they can even show signs of altruism or selflessness, like going through traffic when it's really putting themselves in danger, to take care of other creatures, and to make sacrifices that benefit other animals or that benefit the group rather than their own individual selves, just like we humans can do too. So even more revelatory for me, though, is that adult cats do yowl at one another, particularly during mating season. So that actually made me feel even more confident that Muskie was trying to tell me something, knew that I was in labor, and was trying to help me and on my way to giving birth. I feel like Muskie was my first midwife before Haya was born. In that exchange between Muskie and me, she was telling me that she loved me by attempting to protect me, or she was probably saying something like, "You stupid human! Why are you walking around when you need to get into a safe place? All animals know this. I don't know why humans are so dense." And you know, even more than that, like, she knew something that the doctors would have only been able to know by picking it up on a screen in the hospital. Hours and the next day, they had to monitor me on the outside to know what she picked up somehow by her relationship with me, who knows, something that humans don't possess. She was listening to me, and she was speaking back. So you all probably have your own stories of listening and to animals and being listened to. I hope that you share them with one another, and I just want to talk a little bit about the theme of our service again before we move on to a lovely slideshow of all of the pictures of your pets and other wild creatures that have poured in over the past couple of weeks. So that slideshow is coming, so hang on for it, okay? But the title of this service is called Blessing of the Animals, right? Say it with me. Blessing of the Animals. Animal blessing services, little history, arose in the Catholic tradition in honor of the feast of St. Francis of Assisi, whose kindness towards all living things was reminiscent even of Buddhist practices of compassion towards all sentient beings. And there's also similar services in synagogues around the Shabbat Noach, which is the Shabbat for Noah that celebrates Noah, where you read the Torah Parsha of Noah and the Ark. So to bless, what does bless mean? I looked it up in the dictionary, and I'll tell you a couple definitions. To bless something means to make something more holy sometimes. It can also be a prayer of protection or well wishes for peace, health, or happiness. It's an offering of our goodwill to animals, and that means offering our love and hoping the best for them. However, I would also like to expand our awareness of this title, Blessing of the Animals, because animals bless our lives too. It's not something that we need to do. We don't make them holy. They're inherently they have inherent worth and dignity. They're inherently that way, just like we all are, right? That's our first Unitarian Universalist principle, the inherent worth and dignity of ourselves, and we can extend that to all creatures. We don't have to do anything to give them their divine spark, just as we don't have to do anything, it's already inside of us. But when we connect with one another, when we offer goodwill, we get good feelings inside, and actually a hormone is released called oxytocin, and it actually makes us feel happy and in love with life and one another. So I encourage you to lean in to blessing and receiving the blessing of the animals all around, maybe by going to visit caring canines, maybe by just breathing in the trees, noticing a little insect, bird, or bee outside after the service. Heck, even maybe you might start adoring those fruit flies that are flying around. Notice the changing seasons as you're going about your life. Notice the rhythms of life all around you, and smile at that dog that wants your piece of cake. And remember, what sets us apart from other creatures may be a different language or lifestyle, but the earth around us is buzzing with intelligence and brimming with beauty. This is only hidden from us if we let it be. Look for the beauty, seek the love and connection, tune your ears, your eyes, your mind, and your heart to listen, and that beauty will find you. And now we will enjoy our slideshow.
Kind friends all gathered round, something I would say, that what brings us together here has blessed us all today. Love has made a circle that holds us all inside, where strangers are as family and loneliness can't hide. So give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your heart to the tears and the laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. I've walked the mountains in the rain. I've learned to love the wind. I've been up before the sunrise to watch the day begin. I always knew I'd find you, though I never did know how. But like sunshine on a cloudy day, you stand before me now. So give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your heart to the tears and the laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Love is born in fire. It's planted like a seed. Love can't give you everything, but it gives you what you need. Love comes when you're ready. It comes when you're afraid. It'll be the greatest teacher, the best friend you have made. So give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your heart to the tears and the laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. like I should keep singing as long as the slides are going. We don't want to stop it short.
Good morning, I'm Jenny Irwin, and this is Ellie Irwin. We have 4 pets at our house. We have Luna and Saoirse. Luna and Saoirse are cats, and interesting enough, Saoirse, we were here volunteering for Caritas, and Saoirse followed us home. She a block from here, and she's been with us ever since. We also have 2 rabbits, Tahani and Ophelia, and we love all of them very much. Gracious beings of all creation, we extinguish our chalice with this prayer. Hear and bless thy beast and singing birds, and guard with tenderness small things that have no words. Margaret Wise Brown.
Rise with me for our benediction. You can never really have enough Mary Oliver, so here are a few more words by the great poet from her poem Luke. I had a dog who loved flowers. Briskly she went through the fields, yet paused for the honeysuckle or the rose, her dark head and her wet nose touching the face of every one. She adored every blossom. Not in the serious, careful way that we choose this blossom or that blossom. The way we praise or don't praise. The way we love or don't love. But the way we long to be. That happy in the heaven of earth. That wild. That loving. So may you go now in peace, friends, clinging to the happiness that wildly loving earth can bring. May you go in love, feeling united with the family of things. May you go in beauty, treading gently on our spinning planet, holding hands or fins or paws in fellowship with all creation, wherever you may go. And don't forget, our therapy dogs carrying canines will be waiting for us in the President's Hall after the service. For anyone who would like to greet them, Leanne and I will be down at those doors. Now, please remember to respect that the dogs don't want to be greeted by everyone at the same time. So they've asked us to have 4 people per dog at a time, and we'll help make a line and organize that if that needs to happen. But first, please remain standing and join in singing a rousing closing hymn, All God's Critters Got a Place in the Choir.
Sing along on the choruses. Can you hear me? Hello? Sing along on the choruses if you don't know the words. It starts with the chorus, so you don't have to wait. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. All God